All right, in the last segment I mentioned that I had two legacy 2x4s made out of redwood that are over 48 inches long, but I have three pieces that are a little bit too short. These are just slightly too short, and this one is way short. So originally I was going to do some kind of spline or segmented thing, but then I realized, oh yeah, I have a biscuit joiner. So a biscuit joiner cuts a slot in the end of the board. So it'll cut a slot in the end of this board. Then you insert some glue in the slot, then you insert this biscuit. And then you have the same slot on the other board. Then you put them together, and as long as you clamp them, then it'll be just as strong as if the board was one piece. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to make these ones that are a little bit too short longer by using a biscuit joint. All right, we got all our pieces cut. So some of the dimensions of some of this lumber is not exactly the same, but it shouldn't matter for our purposes as long as one side of it is flat, like this is a little bit thicker here, but as long as the other side is flat, then we're good to go. So we'll make sure we'll do the biscuit joint versus the other side, because biscuit joiner does a set distance from the one side of the board. So this one was longer and this one is shorter. So I ended up cutting off a part that was kind of split on this one. So here's our four pieces, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So we just need to join these two. So the question now is how we're going to clamp these so that when they have the joint in them, they don't just push apart. So I'll show you how we're going to do that. All right, so how we're going to clamp this? We need to clamp it on both sides. So what we're going to do is I have these ripped 2x4s I had lying around. So we'll cut some more lengths about this long, a little bit shorter maybe. And we'll temporarily screw them into each side of the joint. And then we can use our clamp to clamp this side. I have one on the other side too. So first thing to do is put the biscuit joints in so they're ready to go, and then we'll add these clamping blocks. All right, so to do a biscuit joint, it doesn't have to be perfectly centered. We want these to get centered. This one's a little bit wider than this one, so for our purpose it's not going to matter. These two sides are relatively flat, so those are going to be the sides that the redwood goes up against. So you just draw a line here in the center, and we'll do both biscuit joints so that it's centered on this line. There, okay. All right, so we'll do the short one first. All right, so I'm going to clamp this to the table so it doesn't move. Oops. Okay, I'm going to clamp this to the table so it doesn't move. Make sure your bottom clamp is at the end of the device here, the rod. Okay, so here's the biscuit joiner. So when you run it, you turn it on, and this little blade comes popping out. Hopefully you can see that there. So we want to have it a set distance from the top here. So we're going to flip the face down to 90 degrees, like this. All right, so then this is set for it's set for a 2x4, so it's 1.5. It's 3/4 of an inch down. So what we do is we just put it like this, and then we push this forward, and it'll do the biscuit. All right, let me get that plugged in, and I'll show you how it works. All right, so we wanted this height here to be 3/4, of course. So that's halfway through a 2x4. So. All right, we'll try that again, and we'll get it right this time. So the fact that there's an extra slot here, it doesn't matter. We'll put some extra glue in it, doesn't really matter. In the big scheme of things, it's not going to hurt anything. That joint's going to be covered with glue, so. And it's far enough away from the slot I'm making that it shouldn't affect the biscuit. Alright, so that looks better. Then we do the other side, which is this one. So I'll clamp that to the table and then we'll do the other side. Do a 2x4. So. Alright, we'll try that again and we'll get it right this time. So the fact that there's an extra slot here, it doesn't matter. We'll put some extra glue in it, doesn't really matter. In the big scheme of things, it's not going to hurt anything. That joint's going to be covered with glue, so. And it's far enough away from the slot I'm making that it shouldn't affect the biscuit. Alright, so that looks better. Then we do the other side, which is this one. So I'll clamp that to the table and then we'll do the other side. Alright, so I'm lining up the red dot on the whole line that I drew when I had both boards together, so they're lined up. Okay, so that's both sides. So there's a slot for this one. So the biscuit just fits in here like this, and you have glue all around it, and then the glue causes this, I forget what kind of wood this is, but this causes wood to swell, and that locks the two pieces of wood together. Alright, well I've showed this on the, let me get out of the shade here. I've shown this on the garden steps video, so it's a pre-drilling and then driving adapter here. So you take this out, and this side's got a drill bit that'll pre-drill the hole, and it's also got a countersink on the end here. And then when after you've drilled the hole, you can flip it around, and then this bit here will engage your screw. All right, so we'll pre-drill 2 holes, then we'll put 2 screws in. So this particular drill driver has got 2 speeds, got a 1 speed and a 2 speed. So for drilling, you want to do a 2 speed and put the clutch on drilling, and then when we put the screws in, we'll put it on 1 speed. You put on 7 or 8, something like that. So it depends how hard the wood is. So we're starting out with speed 2 and drill, and also I'm using my safety glasses. So don't forget those when you're using power tools. So again, this doesn't have to be perfectly, we're not making the Sistine Chapel here, so this needs to be relatively parallel to the end of this board. So we'll just drill this hole. All right, we'll drill another hole. All right, then we flip this around, switch the speed to 1, and the clutch to 7. We get our screw. This will line up once we get it going there. So you can hear the clutch slipping. That means it's tight enough. So if it doesn't go all the way in and the clutch is slipping, you can just increase the number here. But I have it on 7. That seems to be a good number. All right. I'm going to do the other side. I'll get that biscuit later. So here's another one. So we don't want it to line up exactly because otherwise the temporary screws might hit each other. So, all right. So this is for the second board. So this piece is too short to clamp and also use the biscuit joiner. So I put it on this rubber mat. That keeps it from sliding around. So another good trick. So once I put this on here, if I'm pushing down on this, it's not going to go anywhere. So I don't need to clamp it. All right, ready to glue this up. So we're going to make sure we have it lined up correctly. So we're going to take the biscuit and put it in this side. Then we're going to put this side on. Make sure this is flat. Because remember, this end piece is slightly thicker than this piece, so we want to make sure this is the flat side. The Redwood's going up against. I'm going to make sure this is flat right in here, so that's correct. All right, so this is where we're going to put the glue on. So we're going to put some glue in this slot. We're using Elmer's Carpenter's wood glue, so this is indoor-outdoor glue. So you put in the slot, then you push the biscuit in. Someone's going to squish out, which is fine. Then you take the disposable, I like to use a disposable brush. Spread this out so it doesn't make a complete mess. So again, we're not super concerned about some glue coming out of here. So, all right, then you put some glue on the other side. Here's the other slot. Put this glue in. Now you put a little bit of glue on here, just to get both sides have some glue on it. All right, that's good. Now, line this up. Make sure it's side to side lined up pretty much. Actually, I'm going to make sure one side is, I'll make sure, I'll make sure this side is lined up, yeah. All right, then we put our clamps on. Don't want to tighten them up too much because it'll cause the other side to go out a little bit, so we're just going to put them on semi-snug on one side. I'm going to put this flat on the table so it works better. Alright, now we're not fighting gravity, so that's better. So we'll tighten this side up a little bit. Not too much so we don't kink the other side. Then we'll put this side on, then we'll just tighten both up simultaneously. Make sure we have this lined up the way we want vertically. There's some play in the biscuit joint when you first put it together, so you need to make sure it's lined up in all the directions you want. Alright, so you can see that this joint is getting is butted together now. So there's some glue sticking out over here. We can wipe that off if we want. Again, we don't really care that much. Okay, so let's flip it over and we'll check the other side. Make sure that looks all butted together. This was the hardest one because it was shorter, but should be fine. Alright, so this side is nicely butted together, and there's a little bit of glue sticking out. It's okay. Alright, so let's make sure these are tight. So this takes, let's see, I usually leave it overnight actually. Clamp 30 minutes, allow to dry. Well, unfortunately it got ripped off. I would say at least 3 or 4 hours, but I'm not gonna start. I need to get all this wood off of this thing. That's my next part of the project. So I wanted to get these gluing ready going first, and then while this is gluing, then I can clean up these boards. So I just need to do the other one. I'll do that off camera, and then we'll have these things glued up, and then I'll start working on these boards.
If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Post a comment if you have any questions or ideas, and I'll try to respond. That's all for now, but more videos are coming, and if you want to see them, please subscribe to my channel and turn on the notification icon if you don't want to miss one. This is Beta Cygni signing out, and keep looking up.